Okay, in terms of continuing to think about and work on the right things in the right way at the right time, the Ready, Set, Go drill is an excellent drill that we can use virtually anytime, anywhere in order to correctly and sufficiently practice and rehearse the things we need to do in our golf swing. The first thing that we'll do in the Ready, Set, Go drill is assume the ready position. Well, get our grip, aim, and setup established, and that involves creating an A-frame, which, as we point out in the R3 approach, the A-frame is how we have our body set up. From our sternum, a point just below our chin, down to each of our feet, will create this A-frame. From this good A-frame position, we'll then practice and rehearse our backswing, in which case, as we pivot into our right hip, trailing hip, on the backswing, we'll feel a little bit of a pivot into that right hip. As this is happening, we will begin to rotate our arms, in this case the board, to the top of the swing, at which point we form the angle in our swing. The angle is our primary source of power in the golf swing. So at about a point at which our left arm is parallel to the ground, we have formed that right angle that you see there by the red lines. This is the top of the swing, or what we call the set position. So we go from ready to set. Set position again is the top of the swing. Now from this set position, what we need to do is just feel the angle being brought back down in front of us, as I'm demonstrating here. We'll feel a little bit of a pivot back into our left hip, the lead hip in the swing, and as we're making that little bit of a pivot into that left hip, we're definitely feeling that angle being brought back down in front of our bodies in such a way that we have not cast or released that angle early. So it's very important to get the sensation of getting to the set position in the swing, and then with a very slight pivot into the left hip, we're feeling that angle being brought back down in front of us without casting or releasing that angle early. The angle is the second universal law, second of the five, having to do with our club and our body. So the angle, again, is our primary source of power. We really need to get comfortable and familiar with that sensation of bringing that angle back down in front of us without casting. The next thing that we'll feel in the Ready, Set, Go drill, of course, is going to be the sensation of beginning the release of the club through the impact area or impact zone. In the R3, we talk about that impact zone being from about waist high to waist high, 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, as we say. As we move the club, in this case, again, the board, as we move the club through the impact zone, it's very important that we begin to sense and feel arm rotation. In other words, the rotation, particularly of our lead arm. For a right-handed player, it would be the left arm. But as we move the board or the angle, release the angle through that impact zone, it's very important to sense the rotation of that lead arm. The board gives us some good feedback here in terms of that rotation. So repeating this movement thousands of times, from the ready position to the set position at the top of the swing, and then the rotation of our forearms through that impact zone from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, very important in order to correctly and sufficiently feel the correct movements and positions in the swing. And then as we continue the movement, we'll feel a complete release of our arms and our body all the way through to the finish of the golf swing. Again, the Ready, Set, Go drill demonstrates nicely for us how we can further reinforce through correct and sufficient repetition, again, thousands of times, the law of angle and the law of release from the face-on view here, all the way through to a complete finish in the swing. Again, these are two of the 5 immutable laws of golf. These are two of the 3 mechanical laws, actually, found in the second perspective, mechanics of our swing. So I'll let the video run here so that you can actually hear the audible feedback of the weight as it releases through the impact zone, impact area. excellent practice, again, that can be done anywhere, anytime, correctly and sufficiently rehearsing, feeling, and reinforcing movements that we want until we get to a point where these movements are in fact fluid. And again, it's very important that we have as a first objective that whatever movements we're practicing and rehearsing, they must become fluidly good, meaning that we're not going to be thinking about them when we're out playing, we're just going to be making them.